Pamela's Postings. I wanted to welcome you to my sewing room Thistlefire. I hope that you're having a really good summer. I know I am. And one thing I'd like to share today is something that I've been doing recently, and that's taking pieces of material that are pretty close to being too small to do anything with and turning them into something that's nice. I think that many people would call it crazy quilting or crazy piecing, or scrap piecing. Maybe that's something that might sound familiar to some of you. And I'd like to show you how I would do that. So let's take a look. So here's some material that I have, and this is all leftover stuff that I have based on that quilt right there. That's the one that I was working on last. And my pieces are right here, and I think that probably what I would do in order to start is I would just start looking for pieces that were kind of big. So that one's a good size. I might add something like this to it. Yeah, that fits. Okay, and then let's see. Now I have kind of like a short piece right here, so I could add, maybe I'll add a little bit of the dark brown to it. Okay, but now we're short over here, so we need to add something to that. So here's a nice small piece. Could add that to it. And we want to keep making it bigger, so now we've kind of got like some straight lines going. So let's see if we can make something that's big enough to fit the whole edge, which I noticed that this piece was pretty big. And I could sew that piece on there. And now that's big enough to actually turn into something. I can see that it's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 inches by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it would come out to be I could get like a 5.5 by 5.5 inch block out of that, so it would be a 5-inch done, or I could make it into a smaller one, like a 4.5 inch block for a 4-inch finished piece. And I can show you one that I had made the other day. This one right here is one that I finished last night, and I have this template that I can use in order to be able to cut it. And I would just sort of play around with it until it sort of lines up the way I like it. I want to make sure that yellow is in there, and I like all the colors, and it's looking pretty good. So I would just take my my ruler, and I would cut along all the 4 edges. Oh, you got to make sure that that doesn't happen. You want to have that. Everything has to get inside the template. So that would probably be a better way to cut it. Okay. So, anyways, once that's cut with your rotary cutter, you can start getting things like this. We have all different ones, and this is just all scrap material that I had left over from, I'm making these blocks right here. These are paper piecing blocks, and I'm making a whole bunch of them, and every time I cut off a piece of material, I'm saving it, just setting aside if it's big enough, and I'm using it to make these little scrap blocks or crazy blocks to I'll probably wind up just putting them on the backs of things, or if I have enough of them. That's pretty plain, but it looks neat, doesn't it? It's just different. And that one's really got a nice lines to it. I like that one a lot. But anyways, I'm going to be using that either on the back of my blue kaleidoscope quilt, or I'm going to just use it on other things. If I get enough of them, I could just turn it into its own little sampler and have that be a really interesting looking lap quilt. So I have 30 of them all together right now. There's a lot of them that are done. But it's fun, and if you can try it, go ahead and start trying it. If you have pieces that are not wanting to lay flat when you're sewing them, all you got to do is put a small piece of really lightweight cloth underneath them, and you can sew through, sew the pieces on top of that lightweight cloth, just so that the little edges don't fray too much and get stuck in your machine. But see what you can come up with, and if you do, please share that with me. I would love to see what you've made, either on my blog, PamelansPostings.blogspot.com, or on my Facebook page, Pamela's Postings. Thank you. Sew with me. Bye.